Lesson number 2. Protecting your source's identity. The decision to protect a source's identity is one of the most serious decisions a journalist can make, as in many cases they put their career, the well-being of their family, and even their lives in your hands. Before you make this decision, you must be as clear as possible about what you can and can't do to protect your sources. Above all, do not make promises you cannot keep. Before conducting the interview, establish the rules regarding how the information you get will be reported. Can you use their first name? Can you identify their place of work or position within an organization? Can you quote them directly? As a journalist, it is important that you reveal as much information about your source as possible to establish their and your credibility to your audience. When negotiating these terms, try not to make too many suggestions. Let the source think and decide for themselves how much they want to reveal. Avoid saying you will. There may be a circumstance where you are compelled to reveal it, so you will do everything in your power and be specific about how you intend to do that. When interviewing the source, as always, take careful notes, but use a single notebook for all of your reporting, and do not use the same notebook for their contact information. If possible, commit their name to memory, identifying the source by a symbol in your notes. Do not discuss the source or the information you obtained with friends or family. The best way to get information that can't be traced is to have an in-person conversation in a private place. Email, SMS, and phone calls can all be traced. Bring a small compact camera with you that is capable of shooting video. Even if you plan to do a full interview later, this may be the only time the interviewee is able to meet with you. Do not use a smartphone, camera, or anything that is online. In many cases, an in-person interview is impossible, and you will need to communicate electronically. Familiarize yourself with the technology that exists to conceal your own identity. Secure internet services, such as Tor, will mask your computer's IP address. Secure chat rooms and email services offer a degree of security. One popular method of chat encryption that takes advantage of Facebook's widespread use is off-the-record messaging with the Pigeon Chat client for PCs. Mac users can utilize the Adium chat client with OTR. An installation guide is offered by encrypteverything.ca. There is also an encrypted email service for Gmail through a Google Chrome browser extension called Safe Gmail, but nothing is foolproof. You should operate on the assumption that your online communications can be monitored and recorded. Wi-Fi networks are notoriously insecure, and the very presence of safe mail or proxy internet software can be seen as suspicious. If your source agrees to an on-camera interview, there are several production techniques you can use to protect their identity. One of the most commonly used techniques is blurring the face after the interview is completed. Be careful doing this, because your raw video files will of course reveal the person's face. Shooting in shadow is also not particularly secure. Facial recognition software can identify a source by their profile or even the shape of their ears. Even if the face looks completely blacked out, there is a good chance the dark areas contain more information than you think. Another technique is using face scarves or masks to hide everything but the eyes. But eyes are unique to individuals, and your subject can easily be identified by their irises alone. You may be able to cover your interview with shots of the subject that do not include the face. Be aware that clothing, hands, even gestures can give away their identity. If you have a camera operator, shoot back at yourself with the back of the subject's head in the foreground. If they have a scarf or a hood, you can protect their identity while maintaining a visually interesting shot. Be aware of any reflections that might show their face. You should always use removable media and record onto that, not the camera's built-in memory. Most modern cameras use SD cards. These are very useful for securing your media. Bring at least 2 with you to the interview. As soon as your interview is shot, immediately remove the SD card. Secure it, replace the card with a fresh one. Once you are clear of your source, shoot some new material, for example, a street scene or a marketplace. This way, if you are stopped and your camera is confiscated, you will have a plausible explanation for what you were doing because the new media will be time and date stamped. If the SD card is blank, whoever confiscated it will be more suspicious. Video journalists who routinely deal with confidential sources should keep 2 computers, one for general use and another that is never plugged into the internet. Use the offline one to import and edit your media. If you don't have 2 computers, avoid being online while you're working with the material. Once your edit is complete, export the finished product and delete your source files along with any proxy files created during the edit. The original SD card should be the only archive you need. If you must transfer or upload your finished report via the internet, copy it onto a thumb drive and plug it into your online computer. You may come up with systems of your own to protect the identity of confidential sources. The important things to remember are to be careful about what you promise, stick to those promises, and continuously educate yourself about technological changes that can both make your work safer and more dangerous.